podcast, broadcasting live from Mexico. At least I am this week, which is why you
in
see
San
a different
Antonio.
background. And we still got Mr. DJ over here in San Antonio. It's going to be the two of us hanging out this week, or this on this edition of the podcast. And so we're going to have a good time. It'll probably be a little bit of a shorter show, but I want to start it off like we always do. Make sure you can hear this in the speaker. That bad
I
boy
heard it.
open.
I heard it. It's legit
Oh
now.
yeah.
It's legit now.
And yes, I did bring a Brahma beer into Mexico, and I'm about to share
But
brisket
have you been
with my
wearing it
family.
around Mexico though? Have you? What's the response been like? Have people been seeing you with the merch or what?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I drove um, from the border down in the valley this morning. We left, and it's about a 7-ish hour drive. So we've stopped at gas stations, and this is what I've been wearing all day, is making sure people know the San Antonio Brahmas, and um, which it's kind of a good thing. A good thing that I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to start with is that I was actually kind of surprised. Talking to some of my family. Obviously, they see me on social media and they see the Brahmas and stuff like that, but they actually know about Brahmas and the XFL down here
Mm.
in Mexico, which is really cool. Which I mean, I was like, that is awesome. Like that you guys know about the Brahmas, and it's
We
not
both
just
drunk at
through
the same
me.
time.
Like, like they've actually seen games. What's up, Dustin? How you doing? They've seen games on TV here in Mexico on their ESPN, but
Mm. Is that
it's
Deportes?
well, see, that's the weird part is that so ESPN Deportes, what I guess kind of learned is that ESPN Deportes is a US based thing. And then there's
Mm.
ESPN Mexico, which is completely different
Okay.
from Deportes. So they would show, I don't think they would show the games live here in Mexico, but they would probably show replays. The
Okay.
only problem is that it wasn't in Spanish. It was all in English. And
That's weird.
so like my uncle told me he was actually watching a game. He just didn't understand what the commentators were saying. So I was just like, I mean, but he knew, like, he was watching it, and he's like, I think that's the team that he that my nephew follows and all that, and he
Yeah.
told his friends about it. And I mean, there's actually, I mean, in Mexico in general, there's a big following of American football. And I
Yeah.
think having a
NFL
team
comes.
now, but the thing with the NFL is that they focus so much on southern Mexico, Mexico City. Obviously, that's the biggest city, one of the
Yeah.
in the world. So I understand why they'd want to put their attention there. But there is a huge population in northern Mexico that is old, like they love football, especially in cities like Monterrey. And yeah, I actually met someone at the championship game who came from Australia to the tailgate. He was
It
hanging out
probably
with
was
us, and
him.
he was, yeah. Dustin, were you? Are you the Australian fan? Oh, and that, I mean, it's cool that we have Brahma fans, like, international. Like, that is awesome. That it's not just like San Antonio, but like we are actually reaching an international audience and starting to like gain recognition. So that's one of the things that I want to do this weekend is I want to introduce people to the Brahmas through the great unifier, which is beer. Everyone's gonna love a beer, especially when it's a tall boy, and it's free.
So
So and
let me
then
ask you this though. So since you from that culture, right, the Mexican culture, why do
yeah,
you think people would attach to San Antonio better than they would Arlington and Houston, or is it because we closer to the border? You think that's what it is?
that's part of it, but it's also how the teams respond to the culture.
Mm,
So one of the things that I've noticed throughout the course of the season is that San Antonio, the Brahmas in particular, have embraced the Hispanic culture. Obviously, that's a big part of San Antonio culturally in general.
Yeah.
And so I've sat by multiple fans that have come from Mexico on the other side of Eagle Pass to come watch the games. And you'll see a lot of them wearing the luchador masks. Um, and so they bring their culture with us. They see the people, they see me in the charro suit dressed like a mariachi. That's something that they can relate with. And the Brahmas embrace that. And I think that I mean, nothing against Arlington and Houston or anything like that, but they have their own things going on, and it's not as heavily Mexican influenced as, say, San Antonio and the Brahmas are, with how we do things, especially around Fiesta. You saw a lot of
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
serape stuff, like a lot of this color right here,
Okay.
on people.
So the Fiesta colors, like
Like,
the
yeah,
Spurs colors, yeah.
yeah, like that, and just embracing that, I think, is something that has been really good for the audience, just to be like it's an opportunity to really expand the reach, and I think, um, get into a market that is underserved, that is, underrepresented, but has, like, an affinity for the sport. And I think the Brahmas can very easily position themselves to be the team of Northern Mexico. And so while I'm up here, I am going to be kind of like doing some unofficial brand ambassador work, if you want to call it that. But I do want people to know, before I leave to go back to the States, that the San Antonio Brahmas exist, that, we have our own beer, and I better see y'all at the games next season, and
For
come
sure.
party with us. And I will have beer for you guys, as well as brisket or tacos, depending on the game. But, make them feel at home, make them feel welcome, and, do as much as I want to try to do as much as I can in Spanish, to try to help just pull more people in. Um, I'll be blunt and honest with my intentions here, is that I want to go, like, I know we've gotten the border kind of like intrigued, but I want to go after the big dog. I want to go after Monterrey.
Monterrey.
Yeah,
So
that's
hold on, I
like
thought your suit was called a traje,
it is. So it's a traje. It's a traditional
but
mariachi
you said
traje,
how you say it?
charro.
Charro.
So
Okay. So
yeah.
what's the difference?
So the suit that I have
Hmm.
is more like charro based. It's more
What do you consider
it, it's
charro base?
it's like, think of more like, let's see, how can I describe it? Like Mexican cowboy kind of thing,
Okay.
whereas but it's also used very heavily in
So
mariachi.
mariachis is like performance though, more so.
Right, mariachis is performance. The suit that I'm getting made next year, and the suits that you would see like Mateo wear, for example,
Yeah.
on, when he would sing the national anthems, those are more traditional mariachi suits, and you
Okay.
could see like the differences in the patterns on our suits. His is definitely more performance based. Mine is more of like I said, charro, kind of Mexican cowboyish type thing.
Okay.
Um, so, like, it's obviously a little bit more on the formal side, but it's also used in mariachi, as a way to just dress. So,
So when you see
um,
people wearing charros, like performing, or
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
So it's not like a
Um,
designated outfit for
no,
certain things. Like you can wear whatever you want, but that's just what it's
yeah,
more
it's just
catered to.
yeah, it's just like a style. It's like a
Okay.
specific style, and it's like, specific to like the state of Jalisco. Like my suit is very traditional to the state of Jalisco, where Guadalajara is, for example. And then like the suit that I'm gonna be wearing next year, and like the suits like that Mateo wear, those are more like general, like Mexico as a whole kind of
Okay.
thing, versus just being traditional or specific to Jalisco. for example. So, but yeah, no, I mean, that was, I think, one of the biggest surprises. I was very intentional with wearing this, knowing that I was going to be, podcasting with you guys today. But I also wanted to make sure that, like, I'm putting it out there, and the best way to do it is by wearing it and telling people. Like, people are gonna ask, like, "What is that on your shirt? What's that on your hat?" Oh, good opportunity to be like, "Let me tell you over a beer." And oh yeah, by the way, this can has the beer, the logo as well. So you know, it's just a good opportunity to be able to just promote the league, and um, just kind of show that there is an opportunity to go international with this, which is something that I really want to do.
Oh,
Um,
let me hit Dustin real quick. Yeah, I was
yeah,
I am a season. Well, since the season over, technically, I haven't read up yet. Like I haven't done next season yet. A lot of reasons why I want to so bad, but it's a lot of things going on right now. I got a baby girl on the way, so and she's due like around the time. Well, she'll probably be like what 3 4 months around when
yeah,
time the season starts. So I don't know.
and
I kind of
it's
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 early right
tough.
now, but yeah, it's tough. So
Yeah,
I'll probably I want to I'll try to. I don't want to commit to a whole season yet. Well, it's only 5 games, but still, I don't want to commit to those 5 games, knowing that I probably will need. I'll probably my wife probably need my time, so or my daughter as well. So I'm just like, okay, let me take it step by step at the time, and I probably do like single games, but it's good though because I get to shoot like when you're a season ticket holder, of course you pay for your seats,
right.
but if you're doing season ticket, I mean single tickets, I get to choose where I want to sit, so I can move
You can
around when
jump
I want,
around.
so which is good. But I mean it's pros and cons to both. So
Yeah,
but yeah, I think this season next season I'll probably do single tickets, but I'm there, man, for sure. I'm gonna try my best, but yes,
yeah,
Sundays is normally daddy's day. Like they
yeah.
know, NFL season coming around. XFL is like Saturday, Sunday, but I hope they can kind of get us on Sundays. But anyway, football season is daddy time. So on Sundays, I'm locked in. Now that I'm like following college football heavy, like I have normally don't follow college football like that, but I've been following college football ready for the season. So Saturdays and Sunday weekends is probably daddy time, give or take on Sundays, but I mean on Saturdays, but
Yeah.
Sundays is I'm locked in. Patriots football, man, all day, every day. But yeah, man, I'm there. I'm a season ticket holder
You know,
currently
and
now. Season well, the season over, so yeah.
and I think, that's probably, if I was in your position, I'd probably do the same thing, to be honest. Um, except when I renewed my season tickets, I, instead of like doing the pay half now, pay half
Yeah, yeah,
later,
yeah, yeah.
I've said it before, I accidentally paid for them like in full, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm up for I re up for next season. All right, there it is.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's the commitment, but
yeah,
this first season was spot on. I was like, I'm good. 5 games, I'm good. But he asked me, what's my who's your favorite college team? So
yeah, it was your college team.
because there's so many college teams, I have 4 favorite college teams. NFL only one. Die Hard Patriots all day, every day. Your tickets. Oh, my tickets was behind the goalpost. I was like literally like. So if you watch it on TV, I'm right literally behind the goalpost. Like
Opposite end of the bullpen.
yeah. So yeah. But my college teams. First one is Maryland. I'm from DC, so the biggest college in the area was Maryland. From DC, Maryland. Give or take. But the second team would be Colorado, and I only moved them up to 2 because Dion is like my
Coach Prime.
top 5 favorite football player of all time. So, and I like Travis Hunter, I like Shador, I like Shallow, I like who else they got? Komani, McLean's coming there too. So I follow those players. That's 2. So I moved them up to 2. 3 would be UTSA, which only picked them up because I was here in San Antonio and there's football here. Before we had the
Right.
Brahmas or whatever, I was going to UTSA games. So that's 3. And the fourth one would be Jackson State. Again, Deion Sanders is one of my favorite football
Coach
players of
Prime.
all time. So he coached
Understandable.
at Jackson State. So I'm still following Jackson State. I followed still a few players that's playing on the team right now. So I'm just gonna follow them, for the time being. But and Coach TC too, so he filling Dion's footsteps. So, but yeah, man, that's my team. But hey, I'm happy. I'm ready for football season, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, no, I
It's
mean,
the
I miss it.
Yeah, you know what I'm about to say, because the XFL was filling that void, but now we don't have
Yeah.
XFL. I'm following. You know what? I can't say this. I do watch the USFL. I do that, but I'm watching the CFL, man. I'm watching it.
Are
I
you
never.
really?
Yeah, this
I've
is my
never watched.
first.
I can't. I've
This is my
never.
first year. And I'm
I don't
only
even know where to
sold.
watch it.
You know why? I'm only sold because Brian Scott is the quarterback for Toronto Argos. So Argonauts. So I'm probably gonna follow Brian Scott. I love Brian Scott. And then Cam Phillips, which played in XFL 2020, PJ Walker was throwing to Cam Phillips. So Cam Phillips is a wide receiver on Toronto. So I'm following them for that. And what's my man name? Defensive tackle. I forgot his name, but he plays number 2 for Toronto. Big dude. I can't remember his name right now, but I know y'all probably know. But he played for Baylor. So, but now he's a tackle or D tackle or DN for Toronto as well. So, man, it's filling the void. I can say that. I'm not a huge fan yet, but it's filling the void. It's football, man. I love football. I will watch
You know,
football. You know what's crazy? I'll watch football over any sport that's first, right? And most people be like, "Oh, you don't watch NBA?" Like, honestly, to be honest, and this quiet is kept. Don't tell nobody. Don't. This stays here. I would probably watch hockey before I watch basketball, man. Yes. Hey, these playoffs been lit, man. These Dallas Stars, they was about to get swept, but they can't. They taking it another game, man. The
and
Dallas Stars is out. They not playing, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Watch hockey. It's fun. It's
I
fun.
know I like to rip on Dallas, but I can't rip on the Stars because I know zero about hockey. For
Hey, they
me,
legit though. They're
literally,
legit though. They're legit.
like hockey for me is like soccer on ice with sticks and fights. That's the only way that I could understand it because other than football, soccer's my sport. I don't really watch baseball,
See, look, Panthers.
basketball.
She's a
Like
Panthers fan. Brahma baby is a Panthers fan. See, Panthers doing their thing too. They in the they waiting for the winner of the Stars game. So they waiting for them for the Stanley Cup, man. So the finals.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I gotta give hockey a try. I don't
You
know.
gotta watch. You gotta give it a try. Watch it. Just watch it at least a game, and then you just because like I thought
I
I
mean,
was gonna be.
I don't understand it, but I'll try it.
I don't either, but I
No,
look.
so but
It's violent. It's just as violent as football. I'm trying to tell you, they be
but
tackling, they be fighting. I
it,
like that.
what's funny is that given that I'm in Mexico, I feel like this is kind of relevant now. We're talking a little bit about hockey, but
They got
so
teams in Mexico.
I didn't know that there was a Mexican national hockey team, right? And
Yeah.
the last thing that I mean, this was like years ago, and they they played in a World Cup that like I don't want to sound messed up or anything, but like I didn't know what else to call it. I literally called it the third World Cup because it's literally countries that have no
Whoa.
business having hockey teams playing hockey. Mexico being one of them. And I think they
Hey,
came in third
they got a
place or
good
something like
team
that.
though. They got a good team though.
Well, the thing is that so the last time that I've ever seen them play one time, and they played down in the valley against a team that the valley had at the time called the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. Now these were all like ex college players that didn't make the NHL, Canadian players. Like they made up the team from the valley, and they played against a bunch of these Mexicans that came and played hockey, and they lost like 12-0. And I was
Mm-mm.
like, that sounds about right. And the thing is that the team from the Valley is no way affiliated with the NHL. Like it was its own independent league. The team since folded, but um, but yeah, that's the only time I've ever seen the Mexican national hockey team play, and I'm just like, I mean, I get it. Like, I don't expect Mexico to ever win gold at the Olympics for hockey in the Winter Olympics for hockey, or even qualify for that. They'll get stomped on by Russia or Canada or the U.S. or something. But yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is.
And you got to watch it, man. This series between Vegas and Dallas,
I saw
it's a
something about
good
like
series.
Dallas fans throwing stuff on the ice, you know. So, you know, just
They was down 3-0, so they now it's 3-1. But I thought they was gonna get swept, and everybody picked them to get swept. So
they should have been
they won
swept.
their
I'm just
game. So
saying.
we'll see. We'll
Hmm.
see.
Are you gonna if they win? If they win, are you gonna bust out the Arlington shades again?
Nah, man, no. Only because y'all didn't believe me when I said don't sleep on Arlington. But I'm gonna keep the shades for you know what, I'm gonna only bring the shades out when y'all doubting me, when y'all don't believe what I'm saying. Because you know, like I said before the last podcast, I'm the youngest, so they always be looking at me like whatever. And now when I
Yeah,
said don't
you're the
sleep on
youngest
Arlington,
by like six
hey,
months. I
I'm a brag.
mean,
I'm a brag on it. I'm the youngest.
let's see, Dustin over here. Let's see, where did I get my tickets for next season? So I renewed in my same section. I'm in section 108, so I am near where the tunnel
Peace
where
out,
the
Dustin.
players come out. Um, and that is going to be the bullpen between the 20 and the end zone. So that's where I'm going to be at. Um, but yeah, all right, awesome. All right, so next thing, I guess, since we talked about college, I think that's a good kind of segue to the next, pick. We heard that there's going to be an NFL rookie or an XFL rookie draft coming
Yeah.
up here pretty soon,
Yep.
which I think is an awesome opportunity for a lot of people who maybe didn't get drafted in the NFL. Like we say, this is the league where dreams and opportunities cross, and I think there's going to be a really good opportunity for a lot of players to really shine. There's also going to be showcases throughout the summer. Um, I was telling someone the other day, I was like, man, if I was 10 years younger,
Would have tried out.
I would have tried out the Houston one. Like seeing as I was trying to play arena ball 10 years ago because that's what was available.
Yeah.
Um, but
And
yeah, no, I probably would.
it's giving people other opportunities, man. I like it
Yeah,
because those players that didn't get drafted and went undrafted, they get that other opportunities they need to get film. And as well as the rookie draft, you also got the showcases. So
yeah,
they got what, five, I could be wrong, but five, I think five showcase locations. But
yeah.
yeah,
And
so
one of
it's
them is specifically for HBCUs, which I really
yeah,
like as well,
yeah,
because I feel like they get overlooked a lot. And there's a lot of talent there.
yep.
That
So it's good, man. It's
yeah.
good.
So I think that the XFL is definitely filling in a lot of the gaps that the NFL is missing out on. San Antonio being one of those gaps that they kept on overlooking, and the XFL is definitely reaping. I've said this multiple times. They're reaping the benefits of believing in our city to have a team. And we have the number 3 pick in the draft this year, so we should be able to be in a good spot to pick up some pretty good players.
Who you
That
think we
maybe
go for? Well, not who,
whoever
but what position you think? I mean, because we don't know
see
who's in the draft. We don't have
that
a pool, so
and see that's tough to say because like my gut wants to tell me we need to beef up the offense, right? But so many of our
the
players have
trenches.
have signed the defensive players have signed with NFL teams. Do we need to replenish the defensive forces? That's another
You talking about
question.
defense or offense?
Well, that's the thing. When it comes to the draft, I don't know like what like that's where like I I have to tip my hat to Coach Ward and the staff because this is a
Very,
really difficult
yeah.
um decision to make because
I think we go O
like
line.
well that yeah, but at the same time it's like would you draft an O line over like a really star defensive player and let
But
someone
look,
else have that defensive player?
well, we don't know who's coming back, but
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
another key. So it's yeah, oh yeah, I get what you're saying now. Like it's
Yeah,
tough. We're in a tough
it's
position because we losing people, but we also don't want to miss out on spot on positions where we know we need because we don't
Yeah,
know who's staying and who's going. So
like
yeah, I
like
mean that's good.
Luke Barku's been
Yeah,
signed.
he's gone. Yeah,
Um, uh, Jordan
that's I
Williams
think.
been, he's
Yeah,
gone.
he
Like
gone. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
so now, granted, these guys haven't they've signed contracts to start or to play with the teams and to practice. They still got to go through mini camps. They still got to go through the final roster cuts. So there's no guarantee that they're going to make it. Now, they just have the ability to practice with the team and showcase their talents, at camps. And so, like, also special teams, we lost our biggest offensive weapon, Parker Romo, to the Lions. And I have no doubt in my mind that he is going to be kicking for the Lions. If he doesn't, if the Lions cut him, then like part of me is gonna be like, I'm not surprised because the Lions, it's the
It's the
Lions.
Lions.
Like they're known to not make the best decisions,
But I
but
don't know.
like
Do they have a kicker? Because
no,
that's one of the hardest positions
it
to
it,
field
it
on.
is
Besides quarterback, those probably one of the hardest positions to field. Like because you only have
it
one. You have 1.1
yeah,
kicker
and it's an extremely competitive
position. Yeah.
um position to be in. And the thing is that if you miss one, coaches are gonna like already be like, is this guy really our guy? And if you miss two, they're gonna start looking like, I think maybe we should, look at letting them go. You miss three, you're out. Like you have a very small margin of
Oh,
error
see,
for
he got
kickers.
competition. They got a kicker from the Jaguar, so
Yeah, like
he got competition.
um,
It's
but
competitive, man. So I
it's
don't
a
know.
very competitive position. And so, but honestly, I think with the way that he performed for the XFL or in the XFL, that he's got a real shot at making this and becoming a part of the
Hey,
NFL. And if he's not, like,
one of the biggest, and I don't want to throw a little salt on him, but one of the biggest reasons why kickers stay on the team is kicking under pressure.
yeah, I mean, that
And that
last
was
kick
that
is,
last kick was whoo, the pressure was busting them pipes, man. And I was
yeah,
like,
oh,
oh, but he made the first one, and then
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, he got iced. He got iced.
he
I mean,
got ice. That's what it's for. He got ice.
yeah.
Hey, that XFL need to get rid of the ice rule, man. It's like no.
But but I spoke, and this is something that I really like. I really just liked hearing is that as I've said before, I've become friends with his parents, with his family, with him,
Yeah,
and so as soon as I saw that he made the team, I texted his dad, said, "Hey man, congratulations! I'm sure we're all pulling for Parker."
for
And he was
sure.
telling me like it's a very competitive
Oh yeah.
position. He's still got to make the 53-man roster. Now, if he does make the
Yep.
53-man roster, my man just went from making XFL money to a millionaire overnight. Like
Oh yeah,
he's
for
he's
sure.
gonna be banking.
For sure.
But the thing is, he's got like there's a lot that needs to happen. However, the one thing that he did say is that the XFL was the catalyst that opened up this opportunity that otherwise may not have happened.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that the XFL is doing what it's intended to do, which is let's get players in the NFL. And I think that Coach Ward, that was one of his things. Is he said I want to have. He had three goals. He said I want to have the best special teams unit in the league, which I think he accomplished that.
Yeah, if not top
He
two. St. Louis
yeah,
special teams unit was pretty good too.
yeah, and the thing, and there's a method to that madness. I mean, I know a lot of people I heard were like, "Why would you put so much focus on special teams?" And it's the thing is that the second goal
Those are game
was
changers, man.
he wants to get 20% of his roster on the NFL. Like he wants 20% of who was playing on the Brahmas last year to be
Yeah,
on the NFL in the NFL as an active player. And the fastest and easiest way to do that is through special teams. Like you're not gonna go in and like go from the XFL and be a
a
starting
starter.
quarterback.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're not. That's just it's not feasible. It's not realistic. But to go in through the special teams and then work your way up, similar to how he did it when he was playing for the Steelers, he worked his way up from special teams
Yeah,
to the receiver that he became.
yeah, the number
Um,
one.
and so he had that, and then the third one, unfortunately, we didn't accomplish that goal. We will next year. I have full confidence, but it was to win the XFL championship. But I think, I know they said they want to have mini camps in San Antonio, and I kind of want to give these players pictures of the sign in the Alamo Dome that says Arlington wins on our jumbotron, their colors on
Oh
our
yeah,
end zone, and show it to them and be like, fellas, this is what happened last year. Don't let it happen again. Not in our house.
hey,
Um,
feed the fire,
and
man. Feed the fire.
and I just see that becoming such good locker room like
Bulletin board
motivation.
material. That's it right there.
Yeah, it's like post up the picture of Renegades win, then tell them this happened in your stadium, in your community that you're representing. And I think that that's something that people can, like, players can really get behind, because that's one of the things that I noticed about a lot of the players that we got an opportunity to speak with is that when the season first started, they were a little unsure because they maybe weren't as familiar with San Antonio, but after the second game, when they got to know the fan base and how much we're behind them, they bought in. They were
Hey,
all in.
it's crazy. At the luncheon, before the season, the table I was sitting at, I had Tonga. What's his name? Tonga Moa.
Camilo Tangamoa, yep.
Yeah, I had him. I'm trying to remember because I'm trying to like position. I had him. I had Drew Lewis, which got traded to the Houston Roughnecks. I
Right.
had Drew Beasley. I didn't
Okay.
know he was gonna be how he was.
Mhm.
And then I had Matt Gotel, which is my boy I be talking to. And I think I had just had those four. We had people coming in and out because they ended up moving the seats. But anyway, he was saying, like, Drew was saying, he was like, man, y'all got, like, I heard that we got to be ready because it's gonna be loud in this dome. Because I think Hines Ward told them about
Yep.
the AAF days, and he was telling them how loud it gets in the dome. But
Oh yeah.
Drew said, he was like, yeah, we got to. I heard it gets loud in here, so I was like, yeah, it's gonna get loud. And I haven't even been in the dome before, but I know, like, it's gonna be crazy, man. San Antonio don't
And
play when it comes to fan bases.
the thing is that, like, I've said it before, and this isn't a scientific measurement. Like, I use literally my Apple Watch to tell me, but I went, I went to 8 of the 10 XFL games. I went to obviously all the ones that were in the Alamo Dome, and the loudest that I have ever recorded the Brahmas fans beat was 124 decibels, which is not far from the noise of a jet engine, but it's comparable to a rock concert. It's comparable to
I
an
gotta check
auto race car.
KC
Um,
Stadium. Let me see. Go ahead. I'm
Case
checking
KC
KC's.
and Seattle are the loudest ones.
What it
Uh,
is?
There's definitely gets to like jet engine level noises. Like, it is deafening, deafeningly loud. Like,
Definitely. Go ahead.
um, I've been to a game, a Seattle Seahawks game before in Seattle, and like you had to yell to talk to the person next to you because it was that loud in the stadium. Um, and now, for comparison, kind of going back to the Alamo Dome, where Brahmas fans, and this is either week 9 or week 10 towards the end, we had one game we had 12,000, another game we had 13,000 fans. So it wasn't a
142.
full. It wasn't a
You heard
full
me?
stadium by any means. What's that?
142 was the loudest. Was this Kansas
Yeah, I
City?
mean, and that's what, like 60, 70,000 fans that make that,
Oh
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
we're at 124 with
Well, 13,000.
13,000. And then I went to the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert 3 days after the championship game, and the loudest that I recorded in that concert was 113 decibels on my watch. And the Alamo Dome was pretty much sold out. I mean, there was people in the upper levels, and on the floor, and there's music blasting and people chanting and people singing, and the fact that 12, 13,000 rabid football fans can make as much or more noise as a fully packed Alamo Dome during a rock concert, to me is just mind blowing. So yeah, I mean, they were spot on where like it gets loud in the dome, and I hope that these new players that come in, like if we have veterans that come back and it's their year two and they're back with the Brahmas, that they tell
Yeah,
them, hey, these people, they're behind us and we got to show up and they're going to be loud. Like they will get wild. Um, and so I hope that there's some of that like knowledge transfer,
yeah,
as we get these new players that come in from the rookies, from the rookie draft, um, because we're gonna need to fill a lot of spots from the contract signing. So we got
yeah.
Jacquez Patrick just went to the Broncos, like we've mentioned. Um, I haven't heard much from Jack Cohn past his signings, but I know he went to Seattle. He went
Some
to, I believe,
camps. Yeah,
the Jets. Obviously, we got Parker Romo, who's the Lions. Jordan Williams went to
Alizé Mack,
the
the
Panthers.
Panthers.
Alize Mack went to was it the Titans, I believe.
I think
Um,
so. Matt Gotel
um,
went to the Falcons. I think we got some other
yeah,
guys, some lineman guys. Trying to think who else. I think
I know like our defense was definitely picked apart by the NFL, which is good, but it's
that
also
says a
like
lot. Yeah,
it hurts, to see like it's like seeing the bird leave the nest kind of thing. It's like we want these guys to go, but I know at the same time it's like we also want a good team, when the XFL comes around. And but I do think that there's gonna be uh, a pretty good trade off when it comes time to um, switch over the teams and we get new blood into the system.
yeah.
I think it's going to be a good trade off.
I mean, we got some options. Like I said, we got the rookie draft. Then we also have, you got to think too, the NFL cuts. So
Right. Yeah.
so when they cut down their rosters as well, so it's gonna be players out there. We just got to build them up and make sure that we picking the right players and for that's going to buy into the system and what we trying to build over here. So I mean, I
Yeah.
think Hines Ward did a pretty good job this year. I just think that our,
Absolutely.
our quarterback play. I don't know who's going to start next year at the quarterback position. I don't know if Cohen's going to leave. We still got Reese
I,
Annette. We still got Reese
yeah.
Annette. We still got Paxton Lynch. We still got Jawan Pass. We still got Kurt. Well, I don't know if Kurt Benkert is coming back or not. I don't know if he's still on the roster.
Yeah.
I haven't heard
I don't.
anything of them saying that he got cut. I just know that he was hurt, so I don't know.
Yeah. I know he got hurt and that ended his season just like
Yeah,
Reed Sinet. Um. So I kind of I honestly don't know if
forget you,
if
Jackie.
Bankert's coming back, but Um, I see Reed Sinet possibly coming back. Jawan Pass for sure, because I
Yeah, I
know
think I think Jawan's coming back.
Hines Ward said on multiple occasions that he
He's trying
wants
to
to
develop
coach
him.
him. He's trying
Yeah,
to develop him and coach him up. So I think we see more Jawan Pass next season, which would be awesome. I mean, he's got potential. He's got legs. He's got an arm, and I think with some coaching, especially at like a professional level, he can really develop to be a really good offensive threat, kind of like Tamu was, for the defenders.
one of the
Um,
one of the players that was highlighted, I think, on the either the XFL Instagram or the Brahmas Instagram, but Lindsey Scott Jr. Man, I would love to have him. This man is a baller, like a
yeah.
real. You know who he played for?
Who do you play for?
Right up the street, man, in Cotton Word. And they was putting up 50,
Ah,
60 points a game, and he was
yeah.
killing them, man. So I wouldn't mind having him. I after the game I saw, and I was like, because they went to the FCS. I don't know. They
They
didn't make
went.
it to the
They, they,
championship
they
game, but
didn't
they
make the
made it.
championship, but they were
They
they were close. I think the
yeah, they was
semifinals.
close.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
FCS. Yep. So I'm keeping an eye on him. I've been following him. I know he got a couple of workouts because on his Instagram he was in the Bucks. He was in the Bucks. He had a Bucks helmet on, and I think he had another team. I think the Jets or something like helmet on. I might be wrong on the Jets, but I know I saw the Bucks. But Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on Lindsey, man. I would
Oh,
love to have him in San Antonio, man. Plus, he's a homer, so he played in the Continental World right up the street.
you
So
know who else I would love to see? Frank Harris, UTSA
see,
quarterback.
that's I'm right here. I'm right here. I don't know whether I have Frank Harris or Lindsey Scott. That's a good that's a good battle for whoever to
But
pick who. I would choose either one, but
yeah, I mean, you don't lose
you don't
either
lose. Yeah,
way.
you don't lose. You don't lose. 'Cause
I
they
think
both
though,
ballers.
from like now, from a money perspective, if I guess if you want to call it that, I think Frank Harris is the bigger draw because he went to UTSA.
That's true.
Um,
And then
and
remember, Coach Wolf was like, we're gonna have local talent like on our team. Like we didn't see anybody that was local. Like I know a lot of fans was talking about that. Like how you say that we're gonna have people from UTS, UTSA and local schools in the area in San
right,
Antonio, but we didn't see any. Like I don't remember seeing anybody from any schools in the area. The
no,
closest I
not
think
from
was
San Antonio.
the closest I think was like Houston or something.
Yeah, there was a couple guys from Houston, but I didn't see anybody from San Antonio. Um, or that went to college in San Antonio. But I don't know. I
That's true.
haven't. I know Frank Harris didn't get drafted. I think he might be like, yeah, like this is like Jackie says here. We get Frank Harris. We have the UTSA crowd. They're gonna come watch their boy.
Yeah.
And you get UTSA fans going rowdy with Brahma fans. Like that is no other way to describe it. Puro San Antonio.
This
Like
is
that
last
is
this is last year though. He said he announced it after last
yeah,
season
yeah,
that he was coming back. So this is last year. I think he's
yeah.
a senior too. So I don't know if he get drafted, but I don't know, man. Because after the college season, which you got preparing for the draft, if he enter the draft, so we won't know if he
Yeah.
will get him until the end of next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we'll see what
It'll
happens.
be
He may
crazy.
want to. He may want to just keep going and be like, "Hey, you know what? I want to play in the NFL or in the XFL just to keep going, especially if it's a hometown
And
team."
stay home. Yeah.
Um, yeah, and stay home. Like that might be a thing. So, um, yeah. I mean, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what comes of the rookie draft. I'm curious to see, what who fills in the gaps for the contract signings and who ends up making the NFL roster. Um, I know I've caught some flack because I've been a Packers fan since I was 6 years old, and I've said that if Parker Romo makes the Lions, I'm getting a Lions Romo jersey, and I've gotten a lot of flack for that. I don't care, but
Hey,
he's my
more
boy,
more
and
power to you, man. Because I don't know. Hey,
like.
no way in hell I'm wearing a Romo Dolphins jersey, Romo Jets jersey, or Romo Bills jersey. I just can't. I can't.
Well, see, that's the thing for me.
I'll just get a Brahmas jersey, a
Like
Brahmas jersey.
I I used to be the same way. Like there was no way, like especially with the whole Brett Favre saga. Like I'm not
Yeah,
about to go and buy an Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey. Like no way. But like I the XFL kind of changed the game for me because I never in a million years thought that like we would be able to develop personal relationships with these players and their families. Like Alize Mack, for example, I'll never forget it. I went to go say hi. So when I went to Las Vegas for the game, Camilo Tongamoa's family came from
yeah,
California to watch, and um, his unofficial adoptive parents went and introduced me to them. And so I was like, welcome. I mean, let's have some fun. Let's cheer for the Brahmas.
yeah.
And I hope Camilo goes nuts and rips someone's heads off today. As I was walking back to my seat, I run into Alize Mack's dad, and he was telling me, he's like, "Hey, my son is Alize Mack. Like, what, you got to cheer for my son too." And I'm like, "You're Alize Mack's dad?" And I was like, "Are you thirsty?" And he's like, "Yeah, kind of. It's kind of hot out here." I was like, "Well, follow me." And I went and bought him a beer. And so like I had that connection with him, and like I was like, compliments of San Antonio. Like, even though we're in Las Vegas, I'm bringing San Antonio to you. And I got to take pictures with Tongamoa's family. And so that was cool just to see the blend of the Mexican culture with the culture of Samoa and just to see that blend of culture come together, united under one banner, being the Brahmas banner. Um, like, where else are you gonna find that? And it's just it for me. It's like, I don't want to get like philosophical or anything like this, but it's like what Nelson Mandela said. It's like nothing unites people in a way that sports does.
I'm
Like
gonna I'm gonna
it,
I'm gonna tell you the difference, right? And I was having a conversation with somebody. I can't remember who exactly what it was, but they was asking me, how was the season, like the XFL season, because they knew that I was a season ticket holder, and they saw me at the games,
right,
they saw me on Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff. They was asking me how was the season, and I told them I was like, to compare it to live events, it's already like, blowing every, like, I've been to college basketball games, I've been to
right,
college football games, I've been to NFL games, NBA games, hockey games. I only been once, but I was younger. I haven't been to a soccer game yet. But as far as all those, like XFL is pretty much top all of them, and I've been to a few NFL games, so I don't know.
yeah,
But this is what I said. I was like, when you think about it, right? When you go to NFL games, how how connected are you with the game and with the team and with the, like, you connected with the fans, but I'm talking about like as far as the team, them coming over to you, them talking to you, them, having that fan engagement, right? It's none like at the NFL game, unless you there got some special access or something like before the
great.
game,
And you got money,
or you like the first row or something, the first couple rows, but that's money, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, average person is probably like the middle or to the top of the stadium that wants to
right?
enjoy themselves with their family. They're not going to be down that low. So the fan engagement from the NFL, like, is different than the XFL. So I
Absolutely,
told them, I was like, you feel connected when you at XFL games. Like, you feel connected with the fans, you feel connected with the players, like the players coming over to dapping you up, signing. Like, you don't do that with the NFL. So when you got those, when you're trying to enjoy the family, enjoy events or enjoy outings with your family, like in the NFL game, like, you're going to be sitting all the way at the top. Just imagine how much you will spend on a ticket for 5 or 4 for the NFL game. You can be all the way at the top, right? So unless you got money, but
yeah,
I'm saying like an average person, like, they're gonna be at the top. So you don't get that opportunity to get close to the fans, get close to the players and stuff like that. So me, I was right behind the goalpost, so I was able to dab up the players, say what's up to them, and I knew them like. And it was funny because the first game I was in a bullpen, so the lady that was beside me, she was clueless. This is her first time even hearing about the XFL. She was going because she was just going, right. So
right,
so I was saying all the players' names, like yelling them out. They came over, dap me up. Me and Jawan Pass talking. He came up to me. We were just talking, chatting. I was asking about the injury and stuff like this, just chatting. Pacaromo, that was the first play I've seen when I got to the stadium when I was in the front at the bullpen. Pacaromo, he came over there, took a picture, dapped us up. I even took a picture with Russ Brandon, like president of the
yeah,
XFL.
yeah,
Hines Ward came over, adapted me up. We talked before the game. Like, this is stuff that you will never get in the field game. So I'm trying to explain to people,
never,
like, it's like night and day, man. You got to understand. Like, you got to go there to
yeah,
understand. The fans is
yeah.
crazy. That's the biggest thing. The fans is crazy. So
Like,
it's a different experience, man.
I love how the fans have just kind of created like an XFL culture. Like, people aren't afraid to go out and be like themselves and just like let their freak flag fly a little bit and
Yeah.
dress up like a superhero, dress up
Anything.
like anything, whatever you want. Like, as long as you're supporting your team, like, it doesn't matter. Like, just go and have a good time. And um yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's just the culture that was built up over this past year was something that I just was astounded by. And like you said, like, so I for comparison's sake, this past season for the NFL, I wanted to go watch Green Bay versus Dallas in Green Bay. I've seen Green Bay versus Dallas in Dallas plenty of times, so
Yeah.
that's not anything crazy for me. But I've never seen it in Green Bay.
Same for
I've
me
been to
with New
Green Bay.
England. Yeah, I've been in New
Yeah,
England. I
like,
never seen them play in New England, but when I was in
yeah,
DC, I was always going to see them at the Washington game. It's crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
and so the thing is that for one ticket, it was
See, that's crazy,
$525
man.
before Ticketmaster fees. Then to mention the flight to Milwaukee, plus the rental car to drive up to Green Bay, because flying into Green Bay, it's a small airport. It's really expensive. Um, then you have to get the Airbnb. Before I knew it, I was already in like over $1,000 for one weekend, and that would have been leave on Friday, come home, or leave on Saturday, come home on Monday. Whereas I purchased two XFL season tickets for the price of one single game ticket for the Packers. Um, and I wasn't going to be at the top. Whereas, like you said, I've had on-field experiences with, after the game, and I've given a hug to Parker Romo. He came up and gave me a hug and just said, "Man, hey, I appreciate you taking care of my family." I've given hugs to multiple players. I've met their families. I even got to meet Mrs. Coach on multiple occasions and take pictures with her. Eh, There's no way I was ever gonna do that. Like with it, with for like to to meet a coach's wife, which I met multiple coaches' wives this season in the XFL. There's no way I was ever gonna do that in the NFL. Like no way. Like that is just beyond my price point. But also, I don't like. They don't know who I am. Like they just don't like, and they got my money, and I'm a fan, and not to bash the NFL. I love the NFL, but it's just like you said, it's different, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I got a friend. I think it's Amarillo, Texas.
yeah,
It's like up north. Yeah.
yeah, in
So
that panhandle.
yeah, so in the Panhandle actually. That's exactly what he called it. But he saw pictures. He didn't know anything about the XFL, but he followed the XFL and he heard about it, but he
Mm,
wasn't like in depth, like a fan type of thing. He didn't know the team and all that stuff. But he knew
right.
there's a team in San Antonio. So he saw he's like he's white and Mexican. So he saw a picture of you going around with your traje on with the sombrero. So he saw that. He was like, y'all got a mariachi mascot? And I was like, no, not really. He's just a super fan. So he was like,
The-
you know him? I was like, yeah, that's my boy. He cool.
we
I was like,
podcast
I was like, we
together.
podcast together. He was like, you lying. I was like, yeah. He was like, bro, I never in a million years would think, because we've been cool for years. So he was like, I never. He said, look, Jackie said Wexican.
Well, Mexican right
He was like, bro, I
there.
know you for a long time, but I've never in a million years think that you would be cool with somebody that's a mariachi. He was like, bro, you coming into my culture, bro. He was like, I'm so happy. He like, I got to come down to the games, man. That's my guy, bro. He was like, man, he was so happy. And I was like, that's crazy because like you said, like how San Antonio is like big, like they bringing up the Mexican culture, and that's good
Yeah,
because a lot of people that don't even like not even in San Antonio or just like in areas that don't even have a team, they can come to San Antonio, like El Paso or whatever. They can drive to San Antonio and watch them play. But that just lets you know like the impact that Mexican culture is bringing to San Antonio, and if we can branch out to there, that'd be cool, man.
it
So
it
I'm
adds
all
it.
for it.
It just adds a different flair and level of engagement that you
And
don't typically
he asked me if
see.
I greet those before. If I greet those before.
How no
I
now
was like, nah. I was like, yeah,
not
no.
not
Like I
not so
tried, but I'm
not
not. Nah.
not solo, but have you done it with like as a group? Have you done it as part of a group effort?
Me
Yes.
at the stadium, yeah.
Yeah. So
When you did it,
that
when you came on the camera and did it, I was like, all
yeah.
right, let me do it.
All right.
My son
That's
even
really
did it too.
all. And my grito,
But
like you
everybody
gotta
did it though. Just don't get me wrong. Like
like
when they brought you on the camera and the mic, everybody did it. I heard a lot of people doing it, so that's cool.
and that's what I want. And that see, like I understand I don't have the voice of a professional mariachi like Vicente Fernandez, right? Or Jose Alfredo
Jackie, leave me alone,
Jimenez.
man.
Like I got I you got to realize I'm yelling at the games. I have a sore throat. I can't buy $10 waters, but when the team scores and they're like, "Here, do a grito," I'm gonna try my best to do it on a sore throat.
Yeah.
But really it's not me doing it. It's like let's get the stadium to do it and let's get everybody like just hyped up and make it loud in there. And that's our thing. Like that is
That should
our
be after
thing.
every touchdown. That should be after every touchdown, honestly.
Yeah, like no other team has a battle cry like that except maybe St. Louis where they can go caw, but like okay, so you sound like a bird that's about to take a poop on a windshield. Like, okay, cool. Um, like, it's like it's amazing, and then that's another thing. Like, I've also found that like I have met fans. So it was an on-field experience also, where these two fans from they didn't tell me what city specifically they were from, but they were from Jalisco, which is where the state where Guadalajara is. Um, they came over and they're like, "Man, this is so awesome that you are representing the culture," and like it just made them feel more welcomed and more like they wanted to come to more games, next time they come to San Antonio. So there's definitely um, opportunity there. Yes, Mr. Mayor, windshield comments about St. Louis. I'm still with it. That's gonna be my thing for St.
Wait,
Louis.
where did this
I,
come from? Talk about it.
so at the very beginning of the season,
I know we going off.
when
We said short, but
yeah,
we going off.
yeah, yeah. So at
Go
the very
ahead.
beginning of the season, I was ripping on the St. Louis fans, saying that whenever I hear caca, the only thing I think of is like,
It's
oh,
poop.
great, I'm about to have a bird crap on my windshield. So I was like, if y'all could be nice, if when y'all come down, if y'all could just bring bottles of Windex for us because we're gonna be sold out at
Or
HEB.
windshield wiper fluid.
Yeah, or windshield wiper fluid or something, because like if car wash is gonna be busy after that with y'all's cacas and stuff like that. So, um, so that's where that came from. That's been my jab at them, since the beginning of the season. Um, but yeah, I mean it's and speaking of going and reaching out the to the community, I did want to talk about an event that I was invited to, along with Captain Brahma, who's another crazy fan like me. So, to give you guys a little bit of background, Kinetic Kids is an organization that uh, it it is specifically for children with disabilities to be
Yeah.
involved in sports. Um, and I recently learned that my son was diagnosed with autism, and
My oldest is too.
as he gets older, I don't know what that's going to look like, but to know that there's an organization out there that gives him an opportunity to play and showcase his skills where, other places might not know how to deal with a child that has a disability.
Correct.
This place does. And so I went out to Josabi's Acres in Helotes, and they had what every fourth Thursday of the month they have family fun night, where it's just come meet the community. I met the program director. I'm planning on getting my son involved this summer with swimming and soccer. And my wife even wants to put him in gymnastics, and I'm like, hey, what?
Do it,
I'll
because
do
a lot
like
of athletes start off in gymnastics, so that's just good. So do it.
yeah. So like, I mean, I know nothing about gymnastics, but I'll learn. I'll put my big old butt and fall on a balance beam. Like I don't care. Um, but yeah, I mean, so that was really really nice to be able to be a part of that and just be engaged with that organization. And that's something that I hope that through this podcast, we've always said this is by the fans for the fans, and I certainly want to make sure that other organizations know that, if you want, like, Brahmas fans will assemble if you call us. Um, and there are ways to get involved with the organization and still be able to cheer on the Brahmas. And I did it yesterday, and it was awesome, and I felt great. And this is how much I cared about it. Is that so? The event was at 6:30 in Helotes, so you already know the traffic
Oh
situation
yeah,
around that
6804.
area.
Whew.
Yeah. So getting over there was already a little bit of a challenge. I stayed there until 9:30. Um, Now, I still had to drive down to the valley because I was going to come to Mexico today. Um, so I didn't end up leaving San Antonio until about 11:15, 11:30 at night. I packed 5 Zoas with me, Zoa Warrior, and that helped make me get through the trip to make it down to the valley, so that way I could we could wake up, get dressed, and then just drive to Mexico to come see my family down here. So that just that's how much I cared about it, and that's how much I wanted to just make sure that people know that Brahmas fans as a community, um,
It's
we
more than
love
football, man.
it's more than football. It's we want to be part of the community, and we want to make sure that as a fan base, as a fan group, as supporters of this team, this wonderful organization, that we become part of the culture of San Antonio just as much as the Spurs are, as the Missions are, as San Antonio FC is becoming now. We want to get to that level, and it starts with the fans.
Yep, for
So
sure.
if you have an opportunity and you go to an event and you want to wear Brahmas gear and say, yeah, like I'm a big Brahmas fan, do it. Like it only helps. It's only going to make this thing grow, and it's only going to put more awareness on the team and the product, and it's going to be what's going to keep football,
Yeah.
professional football in San Antonio, and not end up in another Commander situation.
Oh, it's crazy. I saw my I'm not saw my, but I was dropping my son off at daycare, and I saw a guy. I wasn't able to stop and talk to him, but I saw a guy with a Brahma shirt on. He was dropping his kid off at the daycare. I was like, whoa! And this is after the season too, so I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's crazy. Like,
It
that's good. Like, oh, they also have a 30% off Memorial Day sale, guys. Please
yes, yeah,
go buy merch, man.
go buy there's also the Fiesta medals. If you didn't get one, they are on there.
Go
So
buy them.
the code is
30% off.
Memorial 30. Go to the XFL shop.
I'm about to get some
Um
shirts. I'm about to cop some shirts.
and I would go and like be part of that sale. The thing is that I already bought so much crap from them, or I shouldn't say crap, but I bought so many
Crap.
items from
A
them
lot of crap.
already. I bought a lot of things from them already
I
that
did too,
what
man.
I, what
But I
I
need some
would
more
have
shirts.
bought during the sale, like I already own it. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't have anything to buy.
But
But
where y'all stuff, man? Whenever y'all out and
yeah,
about, just throw the shirt on. People will
yeah,
stop and ask
go
you, "What's
when
that?"
you go international, like go wear your stuff. Like I'm telling you, like it's what gets people's attention on the product. And
I think I'm a
I
cop
was
a chair
taught
too, Brahma babe. I'm thinking I'm a cop a chair.
I might need a chair for the tailgating next season because I have
And
one
a throw
chair.
blanket, too. I might cop a throw blanket too for the kids.
Um, but it's one of those things that like right now I think we're at the point where like if you see someone wearing a Spurs jersey or like a Spurs t-shirt,
It's
you
natural.
don't think you don't think anything of it
Yeah,
because
just
as you said,
it's regular. Yeah,
it's a regular thing. But if you see someone wearing a Brahmas thing like at HEB or at the mall or at the park or something, you're just like, hey, like, all right, I get it. I see you. I see you.
yeah,
Like it's like a special bond kind of thing, because it's still such a small, tight knit community that we're still growing, um,
okay. See,
and
Jackie
so yeah,
recommend the blanket.
Jackie highly recommends the blanket. So if you want some cold weather gear for the February games next season, get yourself a blanket while it's 30% off. So um, now, I know we're a little bit over today,
Yeah, we had an
and
hour.
but I did want to
What else we got?
wrap the show up by just giving people a heads up of what's to come. So over the next couple of weeks, and this is an idea that we got from the XFL Championship
Alert!
game.
Alert! Alert! Alert!
We are going to be bringing on other fans from other fan bases, including our own. We're going to have some well-known fans, and just to get to know them and just connect the XFL family as one, because that's what happened at the XFL championship game, is that every single team was represented there, even though there was only 2 teams playing. Whether you were going for DC or Arlington, like you were there, like people were there representing their team and just being part of the XFL family. And I think that is amazing, and we want to continue that spirit. So we're going to bring on some of the more recognizable and noticeable fans that you may have seen on ESPN throughout the season. So next week, we are honored to have Excalibur Battlehawk from the St. Louis Battlehawks join us on our show, just to get to know a little bit more about him, how he came up with the Excalibur concept.
I became a super fan.
How he like where did this come from?
Right?
I mean, if it really depends on the person. If they embrace the term, go cool. If not, hey, we won't call them that. But it's just one of those things that like we want to get to know the person.
Reaching out.
We want to get to know the fan base a little bit more.
Yep.
And that way, like I've said before, this is the very first time that we're going to have XFL Season 2 in the 3 attempts that we've had XFL. And I don't want it to be a bunch of strangers that are meeting each other for the first time. I want it to be a family reunion where it's like, I remember you from last season. How you doing? How's the family? So next year, Excalibur Battlehawk, that is going to be our guest for next season, for next week's podcast. And we are very excited to have him.
Many more coming too.
And we have many more fans that are lined up throughout the summer. We're still working on potential summer get-togethers. We got to work out logistics and all that stuff. So we'll let you all know as that kind of starts to come together. But it is something that we are very passionate about. We do not want to stop the hype of the XFL. We want to keep it going, especially of the Brahmas. We want to keep the emotion and the love of the team strong, just as much as it was during the Fiesta Parade, during week 1 against the Battlehawks, when they announced the team name. Like, we want to keep that going all year round. And so wherever you are, keep working on it. Keep wearing your stuff. Keep representing. We got Brahma Babe saying she's working the Wimberley community. I'm currently working in Mexico, working on the Mexican community. We got, if you're in Helotes, work in Helotes. If you're in the Valley and you're watching from the Valley, work on the Valley.
I'm on the far west side, so
I brought some of these to family in the Valley, and I'm like, I'll try this Brahma beer and come to a game next season. And so keep on doing the good work. And then, look, we got the 210 Brahmasita is going to be working Corpus Christi tomorrow. So I know she's going to be representing well. But
she better.
She better be. So I think you just got called out, Jackie.
She about to fight me.
We're gonna have some words in the chat about that after this.
I know it's coming.
But thank you guys so much for joining. I gotta jump because I gotta go spend some time with my family while I'm here in Mexico. Expect to see some video content of me introducing Mexico and Mexicans to the XFL and to the San Antonio Brahmas, and hopefully we'll see more Spanish-speaking fans in the Alamo Dome next season. So thank you guys for joining and spending some part of your Friday night with us. We love you all. And as we end it always, horns forward, baby.
Horns forward.